Today we look at roads from around the globe your mom wouldn't want you to drive on. You know why? Because your mom is smart and these roads are dangerous. You won't believe that some of these roads actually exist and people drive on them every single day. Let's take a look. Number 10, Trollstigen, Norway. Trollstigen, I'm sure a lot of you have seen pictures of at least. It's a renowned serpentine mountain road in Norway, and it stands as a testament to remarkable engineering and this harmony with nature type thing. That's kind of Norway's way of doing things. They try not to disrupt the land as much as they can, within reason, I should say. This masterpiece of road design was completed in 1936, and it winds through the steep slopes in the Norwegian fjord country. It features 11 hairpin turns, each artfully carved into the mountainside, ascending to an elevation of over 850 meters above sea level. The road is approximately 55 kilometers long, offers breathtaking views of sheer drops and waterfalls. Now, one thing to keep in mind, Trollstigen is closed during the autumn and winter due to hazardous conditions. This is because if you went up there in the snow or bad weather, people would be sailing off the edge all the frickin' time. While official statistics are hard to find on fatalities, they still lose a handful of people every single year. This is even though the road's design prioritizes safety, tons of guardrails, and viewing platforms. Because if you didn't have the viewing platforms, people would be stopping on the side of the road the whole time or trying to take pictures while they drive down the mountain. That would just be even more problems. I honestly think the biggest problem with this one is exactly that. Looking at the scenery while you're trying to drive and just losing that concentration for a minute, it's going to at least put you into a guardrail or two. Trollstigen gets a pucker factor of 7. If you don't know what pucker factor is, here's the definition. Number 9, the Hela Highway in the Philippines. This is one of the most dangerous highways in the world, and here's the thing, it used to be even more dangerous. This highway is also known as the Mountain Trail. Every year they lose a handful of people to this date. Back in the day, before they put up a bunch of walls and guardrails and stuff like that, they lost people on the regular. In 2014, a bus fell off one of the roads down the cliff, killing 14 people. This road is about 150 kilometers long. It has different areas where it's 2 lanes and 4 lanes. Back in the day, like 10 years ago, it was just 2 lanes in most places. Like many mountain roads, landslides are common here. It's sort of famous for big stones and debris tumbling down from the peaks. That's not all you have to worry about. During the rainy season, it gets slippery and people are sliding off all the time. Not always fatal, but people do hit the wall, people do slide off the cliffs and down hillsides. Then they get some pretty good cloud cover, which since it's in the mountains, so the mist can come in and block a driver's vision. The Hela Highway also gets a pucker factor of 7. Number 8, the Dalton Highway, Northern Alaska. The Dalton Highway, also known as Alaska Route 11, is a remarkable thoroughfare located in northern Alaska, stretching approximately 414 miles or 666 kilometers. This highway starts or ends at Prudhoe Bay, which is in the Arctic Ocean, like the very top of Alaska. For all you geography nerds, it's the Arctic Ocean, but it's actually where Beaufort Sea is. If you're one of those adventurous types and wanted to drive the Pan American Highway, this is, again, where it stops or where it ends. You could start here at the Arctic Ocean and go all the way down to Chile. Or as my neighbor used to call it, chili. The way he said it with like this little southern twang made me think of cornbread every time. If you've never heard of the Dalton Highway, then just turn on Ice Road Truckers. They're on it all the time. Now this one's danger isn't as much running into other vehicles or going off cliffs. Now they do have some, not as horrible as some of the other ones on this list. The biggest problem here is the terrain, the shape of the road, meaning potholes and everything else, and how far you are away from everything. There's no services out here. If you break down, it could be quite a while before you get some help, like days. This road was built in 1974 as a supply road to support the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline System. It is one of the most isolated roads in the United States, actually in the world. The highway traverses some of the most desolate and challenging terrain, including the formidable Brooks Range and the Arctic Coastal Plain. It only has 3 towns between Fairbanks and the ocean. The highway is mostly gravel and it presents unique challenges to drivers such as extreme weather conditions and limited visibility, making it sort of a test of endurance and self-reliance. Now the little town or camp that's up there near the Arctic Ocean is called Dead Horse. And this stretch of highway between Deadhorse and Fairbanks, on average, has about 40 fatalities. They've also had some people just out and out disappear up here. The James Dalton Highway has a pucker factor of 7.5. Number 7, US Route 550, Colorado. Route 550 is hands down one of the most drop-dead gorgeous highways in the whole United States. Some folks even call it the $1 Million Highway. And it's dangerous. Every year, folks are veering off the road and tumbling into the abyss. So why is that? Why are people just flying off the road here? Well, they got a lot of hairpin turns and not many guardrails. US 550 winds its way through the Colorado San Juan Mountains, crossing the spine-chilling Red Mountain Pass. Let me tell you, if you decide to throw caution to the wind and speed through this route, it's one of the spookiest and deadliest rides you can take in the US. Even though it's only 25 miles long, this road is no joke. On average, it sees about 57 to 60 fatal accidents every single year. So if you're planning on taking Route 550, buckle up, wear a helmet, and stay safe. Route 550 has a pucker factor of 7.7. Number 6, Fairy Meadows Road, Pakistan. Fairy Meadows Road is also known as Nanga Parbat Pass in Pakistan. It's only 10 miles long, but let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. Starting off, this road is like something out of a thriller movie. It's super narrow, only about as wide as a Jeep Wrangler, and guess what? It's not paved, and nobody takes care of it. Forget guardrails, that's like a pipe dream for this road. There's nothing between you and a drop of several thousand feet into boulders, basically, at the bottom. Here's the kicker. You'll be climbing 8,000 feet in a really short distance. That means you'll be tackling some seriously steep sections that might make your heart skip a beat or two. If you're up for the adventure and you manage to survive the drive, you'll be rewarded with the breathtaking beauty of Fairy Meadows. It's a place that's so stunning, it's hard to put into words. Just be warned, not everyone has the guts to make the journey. About 35 people lose their life on this road every single year. Fairy Meadows has a pucker factor of 8.0. Number 5, Hela Highway, Nepal. Yeah, this is the road to Nepal, and it's only 155 miles, but it's pretty much a death wish if you want to take that trip. About 50 people die there every single year. It is one of the most dangerous stretches of road in the world, and during monsoon season, it's pretty much stupid to even drive on it. They have narrow stretches of road, landslides, falling rocks, flooded sections, potholes, huge drops, steep cliffs, and if you end up alive at the end of the road, your kidneys are going to be killing you from all the bumpiness. It's gotten so bad the road gets shut down at night. About 50 people die here every single year. Buses go off the road. People walking fall off the side for some reason. I was looking at videos of this and I was nauseous. I wish I could have grabbed some of the best ones, but they were like on the Discovery Channel and they pitch a fit if you take their footage. Hela Highway has a pucker factor of 8.2. Number 4, Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. Skipper's Canyon Road is famous for its mind-blowing views and heart-pounding scary drive. This narrow, unpaved road is literally carved into the side of some really steep cliffs and goes on for about 22 kilometers, Cornet Peak, and ending at Skipper's Canyon. It was first built way back in the 1800s during the gold rush, and surprisingly, it hasn't changed much since then. They thought, it worked for all those miners back in the 1800s. Let's not fix something that works. They really don't keep official stats on how many people have died and how many accidents they have on this road every year, but everyone in the area knows it's pretty risky. This road has seen some fatalities though. Despite all the dangers, Skipper's Canyon Road is still a hotspot for tourists who crave adventure and want to see some seriously amazing views of the Shotover River and the beautiful landscapes around it. It's so dangerous that it's earned the reputation as being one of the most hazardous roads in the world, and it often shows up on lists like this. The locals from this area have one suggestion for everyone that drives it: pull over before you take in the sights. Now, like I said, the numbers of how many people die here every year are really hard to come by. I actually couldn't find any. I did find some blogs where people said this whole road takes the life of about 30 or 40 people every single year. I have nothing to back that up. That's just what I read. Skipper's Canyon Road gets a pucker factor of 8.4. Number 3, Stelvio Pass, Eastern Alps. This one is part in Italy and part in Switzerland, right there in the middle. It's an elevation of about 9,000 feet and it is filled with hairpin turns and steep grades. This road is a real showcase of how amazing and risky mountainous areas can be. The road that takes you through the pass is called Stelvio Pass Road, and it's famous for having a whopping 48 hairpin turns on its northern side. The twisty roads are a big hit for thrill seekers like cyclists and people on motorcycles. But here's the catch. The road is super tricky, and it's known for sudden weather changes and being tough to navigate, which has led to a whole bunch of accidents over the year. Now, there's no official number on how many accidents or how many people died here. It's another one where there's estimations between 20 and 30 people die here a year. This has been on all kinds of different shows. People that are into cycling and motorcycling and, performance cars know about this road, and it's like a bucket list place, and they'll go there, and a lot of them, I'm sure, get a little carried away and misjudge the road and their skill level. It is beautiful. Stelvio Road gets a pucker factor of 8.4. Number 2, Hela Highway, Russia. This stretch of almost 2,000 miles of highway is not just dangerous, it comes with a terrible past and a fitting nickname. It is known as the Road of Bones. Now, that just isn't something they came up with because a lot of people die driving it or anything like that. They're literally people buried under the road. When they were building this road, they were using prisoners from the Russian Gulag and stuff like that to build the road. Let's just say safety and healthcare weren't a big priority of the old Soviet Union. When someone would die, they would just bury them in the cleared out area where they were laying the road. They'd just keep paving. Thousands of people died while building this road. Now, this is up in some of the harshest environment Russia has to offer in Siberia. Traveling through Siberia is always a challenge, but this area is one of the coldest places on Earth. It can get to minus 83 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's part of the danger. The extreme weather, they have tons of unpaved road. Matter of fact, most of it is ice, mud, low visibility. Now, the Lena River runs across this road, and actually the Lena Road meets the Hela Highway, and they don't really have a bridge. The only way you're going to cross it is when it freezes over during the winter, which is a good portion of the year, so that's good. Well, the problem is, sometimes people try and go across a little too early, and them and their car fall through the ice and die, like dozens every single year. If you don't die when you crash on this road, the environment will probably kill you unless someone comes along pretty quick. The Road of Bones has a pucker factor of 92. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have a couple other channels. One on this day, which we're going to start working on again after the first of the year, and another one called Briggs, Shorts, and Docs. There's links for those down below. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, North Youngest Road, Bolivia. This one's more commonly known as the Road of Death. And it is a fitting name. I'm sure it also could be called the Road of Urine because I'm sure people are wetting themselves every single day when they drive this thing. It is scary. This is how you get from the mountain town of Corico to La Paz, the capital of Bolivia. And people make this trek by the hundreds every single day. Here's the scary part. They take buses. This is a road that I wouldn't even want to walk. It's a one-lane road, both up and down. You're on the same road, and when people have to pass each other, sometimes it gets really sketchy, like they're rubbing door handles and one of them's almost going off the cliff. The Road of Death is almost 50 miles long and it's one lane, like I said, featuring vertical drops as much as 3,000 feet into the Amazon rainforest below. It has an amazing 200 hairpin turns. Up until 1994, nearly 300 travelers died on the road every single year. Fortunately, since then, the worst part of the road has been bypassed by a 2-lane paved road, so vehicle traffic on the road is really diminished. Even with their new paved road, is still considered one of the most dangerous roads in the world. The Road of Death gets a pucker factor of 10.